This is the tale of two tailors, two Jewish tailors long ago, of their successes and their failures, as told to me by my great auntie Joan, who incidentally at the ripe old age of 93 just recently gave up smoking 40 silk cuts daily. Now she can run 100 meters twice as fast as me. Her brain is sharp as nails and full of all these old tales. Morris Green was fast and mean with a sewing machine. There was no one better. He and his mate Monty were the greatest tailors there were. They'd suit you, sir, in silk or wool or leather. They were a nice little double act, like Eric and Ernie, Mike and Bernie. They were a cut above the rest. Morris and Monty were the best. Now let me explain. In the garment game, you've got to have a brain for the business. Well, Monty, he had that, but it was Morris who had the knack. With scissors and a cloth, he could snip a beard off faster than a moil at a Brister's. They was a nice little double act, the yang and the yin, the bend and the din. They were well and truly blessed. Morris and Monty were the best. They met on the boat from Hamburg, and on it they made a vow. In a mixture of Russian and Polish and Yiddish, they stood like Leonardo DiCaprio did ish. On the Titanic bound. We're gonna be kings of the world, we'll show them, you'll see. We're gonna be kings of the world, aren't we? All they had on that boat was a crumpled up note in the pocket of their coat that they couldn't even read, and on it was the address of an uncle or cousin or theirs who'd settled from the shtetl, now in Manchester or Leeds. So in a poor part of town, in a sweatshop underground, they dream of the sound of cash registers. Morris and Mont, like the brothers Delphonse, Cuban cigars, Rolls-Royce cars, a couple of fat rich menschers. Another nice little double act, like Spencer and Mark, to some of their parts was more than you would ever guess. Morris and Monty were the best. They beg and they steal and they borrow. They're wily, they're clever, they're strong. In a mixture of Russian and Polish and Yiddish, they're taking on the orders, they're thinking big-ish. They're singing their company song. We're going to be kings of the world, you'll see. We're going to be kings of the world, aren't we? One night while Morris lay asleep in his bed, a shaft of light came through the window, and a voice in his head, in a mixture of Russian and Polish and Yiddish, and some Hebrew he remembered from when he made Kiddush, said, I am the God of your father's kid. I delivered you from Egypt, I did. And to Adam and Eve I sent a snake, kid, so they'd realize that they were naked. And for you I did this favor, so that people should always need a tailor. plants in UAC. A simple, brilliant idea. And when you wake up, I will guarantee you'll forget it was me who put it here. And sure enough, the very next day he shouted out, Eureka! Hooray! Eureka! I've got it! The pattern and the stitch. Eureka! I've got it! I'm gonna be rich! Then now follows some tailoring talk. He said the buttons on the jacket on the coat is for the line, and the lady or the gentleman might not really like that all the time. If I can make a long extended seam or flap, the buttons can be hidden underneath the overlap. How come nobody's ever thought of that? That is a great idea. Got it? He said, that is a great idea. I better file a patent right away. That is a great idea. I feel like a genius today. If I can make a long extended seam or flap, the buttons can be hidden underneath the overlap. I really am a very clever chap. That is a great idea. Well, Monty, the other one, was a little bit jealous. After all, he was supposed to have the brains. He started fiddling about with the tassels on his talons. You could see the bulging of his temple veins. He said, that ain't a great idea. You leave the thinking to me. Everybody knows round here, your brain is the size of a pea. You go back to the trestle of your Singer Deluxe. I'll stick to the business of making the bucks. You don't want us looking like a couple of schmucks. That ain't a great idea. Oi Gewalt, oi wees meer. We will never really know what happened here. But before you could say, I'll have a bagel with schmear. Monty stole the idea, and from it he made a killing. And Morris was left with chopped egg on his face. And he never made a shekel or a shilling. He said, Monty, you have conned me. How could you stitch me up like this? Monty said, Maury, I'm very sorry, but it's a cutthroat business this is. And these two men never spoke again, the best of friendship had been broken, and Morris' career stopped in a Bradford tailoring shop. But Monty, he built a factory on the profits of the idea that Morris said he'd stolen. That was the end of the double act. Friends now strangers, everything changes, like the dinosaurs, like King Canute. Morris and Monty followed suit. Oi Gewalt, oi wees meer. For every moment of joy, there's a corresponding tear. Their lives like ours, full of jealousy and fear. Morris went to his grave, bearing a grudge. And as for Monty, God will be his judge. Now Morris, he begat Asney, and Asney begat Ruth, begat me. A mixture of Russian and Polish and Yiddish. Their faces and their hopes and dreams and lives, they don't finish. They live on in you and in me. When I look in the mirror I see a little bit of Maury and Monty. They were the kings of their world, kings of their world in their day. They were the kings of their world, kings of their world one day.